Good people, welcome back from learning the while versus the for loops on our last recording. Today we are headed to learning about nested loops. So what are nested loops? So basically nested loops, it's a loop inside another loop. Basically the loop appears, a loop appearing as part of the body. Excuse me. Yeah, it's just a loop inside another loop. Loop inside another loop. A nested loop is okay, fine. So we have outer loop and inner loop. Basically, as the statement says, outer loop is the one outer loop. Outside is outside, and inner loop is inside, outside loop. Hope that makes sense. We have one loop outside, another loop running inside the on side. So basically, you can use this to denote combinations of lines. Yeah, that can be a use case of a nested loop. So basically, nested loop is a loop inside a loop. Loop part of another loop. We are putting a loop inside another loop. So basically, we can say loop runs completely, running completely. Iteration. I hope you remember what iteration is. So we have an outer loop. Once the outer loop runs once, then so basically one loop running completely for iteration of the outer loop. So the outer loop has the first iteration, and the inside one runs completely. So basically the inside finish first, then what? So for iteration one, excuse me, we have the inside loop. Runs completely. Yeah, like this should be outside iteration. Okay, I've used the outside and the inside. So outside iteration 1 means inside runs completely. I hope that we'll be able to see that in our examples. So we can do example or for us to know a syntax. So basically, let's use a range, and then we'll use a for loop in a range. For I in range of 3, right? So it's 0, 1, 2, right? This is our first is the outer loop. What should happen? Don't say for I excuse me, sorry, no, we ain't going to say for j, so we go for j in range. I'm going to explain this. These are the inner loop, right? What should happen is to print. So we want to print I and j, so that we can get to see how the outer loop runs 1, the inside loop, or the outside loop for the first iteration, this runs completely. So let's say print. We remember the formatting of string, so we want to say F. Then we have the outside is speech marks. We want to say I is equals to, and then we have the value for I. Let's say I, right? 1 I, sorry, I, value for I. Then we have J, then we have J is equals to J. Yeah. We're going to run this in our file, and then we see the output we have. So what we've said here is for one that should be here. One iteration for the outside one means this runs to completely. So it means we'll have I printing 0 for J being 0. Then we have 0 for J being 1, 0 for J being 2. Not 2, because our range is 0 to 2, it means just 0 and 1. So we'll have 0 for this being 0, and then 0 for this being 1. That's the end. Now we go to the next loop. Next loop will be for when I is 2, when I is 1, sorry. So we'll have 1 when 0, and 1 when 2. Sorry, 1 and 1. Does that make sense? So we'll have let me try and let's do a preview of the result before we do the actual code. So we'll have, because it's a range of 0, because the range of 3, it means 0, 1 and 2. So for the first it will be 0, then the J will be 0 as well, right? For the next iteration, it will be okay. It means until this comes out, it will be 0 as well, while J is 1. And J has only 2 possible outcomes, so 2 in each stage. It has only 2. It has 0 and 1. So that will be the end of first iteration. Now go to the second one. So the second one will be now. We will have moved to 1, right? Then it will go to 0. Then it will come to 1, right? Because this just has 2 possible outputs, so it means it will just go for the 2, 1, 1. That's the second iteration. Now we'll go to the third one, whereby it's 2 for 0 and 2 for and 2 for 1. So these are the output we'll have in our nested loop. So let's see then. See, so we have nested one.py. Yeah. So when we paste our code here, we'll say nested loop. Let's go to where it is. It's in loops. Season 4. So we're going to say we have nested this step. We have nested one here. Yeah. So we can do clear of this so that we see our output. Then we say Python nested one.py. Right. Yeah, we have found an error because we did not finish writing. Our Python clear. So it's Python and nested. Right. Sorry about that. Yeah. So as we said, we have 6 out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For 0 is 1 and 0 is 2. Let's say this was 3, right? It means we're going to have now 9 outputs. We have added 1. The reason why you don't have 9 is because now we just added this to the range of 0. We just added this to a range of 0. Oh, it should be. I should say a different output. We ain't having. So, okay, let's say for range of 3 it means we have this going for 0, 1. Oh yeah, it's the output is 9. Oh yeah, the output is 9 as I just told you, because we've added 1. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. The output is 9. Absolutely. My terminal had closed out some parts of it. So it's because we'll have 3 for this and 3 for this. So basically that's the output. So out of it we have 4 here. I hope you've guessed it correct. We'll have 12 out of being 12. No. Because we'll have 1 for 0, 1, 2 and 3 for each of our. So we'll have these 4 outputs for each of our 3. We have 3 outputs here and we'll have 4 outputs. So it will be 4 times 3. That should be 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12. I hope that's clear. We've seen that we have had 12 outputs for this. Now let's do a different example. Now, for this one, I want us be able to, let's print grid, or you can say a histogram, and we'll see as we go along. Yeah, so we want to, we have rows is equals to 3 and columns is equals to 4. So I hope you can see what we're going to print here. So we're going to have a for loop for this, then you print down for 4 columns, right? Just going to do rows and columns. So goes with 4 I in a range. Basically we now have, we're accessing it differently now. So for a range of rows, yeah, going to for I in, okay, let me exit this, exit this. This is how you exit Python. Yeah, I just exit. Let's go down, let's go to loops. Yeah, that's okay. Fine. So for I in range of rows, basically in range of 3, what you want to do is go through the other loop. So we'll say for j in range of yeah. So basically for this, go through the range of this. So what do? We go to print. We want to print something. I thought I don't know if I can find emojis in my keyboard. We'd have used maybe emojis, but for now let's use a star. Okay, we can use 8. Let's print 8. Yeah. Then we'll see the output, and then a space, just some space after, and then after each, let's have a new line after each. So basically this will run fully. This will be 1. So basically this is the outer loop for rows. Then inner loop. Okay. So let's go Python nested loop. Okay. We've used 8. So we'll have for the first one, right? We'll have it going we'll have it going 4, which will be printed 4 times, right? Like when you have the first loop, the first one will have it prints for the first iteration. This one, once it starts, it prints this one 4 times, right? This one prints 4 times. To the next one it prints 4 times. That one it prints 4 times. So basically it's the first one prints 4 times, as you've seen here. Then the second one prints 4 times. That one prints 4 times. So had this been 4 and 4, yeah. But this being 4 and 4, you're going to have a perfect square. These are 4 by 4, so that's the square. These are rectangle, and you can have anything here. Initially we should have square, sorry, stars. So it's 4 against 4, as we've just seen here, right? I hope that makes sense. We're having a loop inside a loop. So first iteration run, then we have the full loop. Second iteration run, the full loop. Third iteration run, full loop. Fourth iteration run, full loop. Now that makes sense, and that's our example. We've used a for loop for nested one and nested loop. Let's use it for a while loop, and then we see if we are going to have the same output. So basically, let's do it in this example. We're going to say nested while loop. So let's say I is equals 1, right? I is equals 2. We will say while I is less than or equals to 3, right? While I is equal to less than 4, let's use 4. I will j as long as I is less than or equal to 4. We're going to have j is equals to 1, so we will say while j is less than or equals to 2. Okay. Let's print so I can say I. So I then j. What happens again? We are going to say j plus 1. Then we go back to the other one, then we add 1 to it. Let's Python. Okay. So we start starting from 1. Yeah, we're starting from 1. So basically we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 for the outer loop. Then we have, so basically while I is less than or equals to, you can use 3. Yeah, so basically we're having the lesson right now. So we'll have for I is less than or equals to 3, right? This one right here. So we're going to have it for the 1 and 2 and 3, because we have this condition right here, less than or equals to 3. We have this condition right here. So each time the outer loops run, this is the outer loop. Each time it runs, it checks against this condition. So our inner loop is right here. So what happens is, while j, this j here, is less than or equals to 2, right? So we have 1, 2, right? It's less than or equals to, so it's have 1 and 2. So for the outer loop, we'll have it running from 1, 2, and 3. Then the inner loop will have running for 1 and 2. That's the output we have here. 1 for 1, 1 for 2. Each time the outer loop iterates once, the inner loop runs fully. So we can say, yeah, okay, I hope outer loop also computation. Yeah, I hope we've been able to see that from our examples and from our output. I hope that's clear. From the examples we've done using nested loops. Okay, I guess we have done this using whereby we're printing a histogram, but we can do an example of this using a while loop. Yeah. Let me see. So basically what I'm trying to do is I want us to use a while loop and a for loop together. Yes, basically a while loop. I want us to do while loop. Sorry, a for loop inside a while loop. For loop inside a while loop. Yeah. So let's do our nested for. Nested for. Yeah. So what I want as output here is basically a histogram. Okay. Basically a histogram. Histogram. Yeah. So we'll have to define a few variables here. So now we have a num being 0. Basically, we're going to use a while loop against num, right? So they say while excuse me, num is greater or equals to 0. Equals to 0. What do we do when it's this condition is true? We'll say num is equals to. Then we ask a user for an input. Yeah. We say enter. Basically negative. If you want to negative. Basically, if you want to quit, you print negative. You enter a negative number. Yeah, does that make sense? Hope you remember how we were doing strings format. So we did say when you use a / enter, we are saying go to the next line. Hope you remember. I'm trying to find it here. So basically, go to the next slide. Hope you remember. So let's have a let's have a if statement here, and then we'll have for loop inside. So we'll say now is less than is greater or equals to 0. Yeah. What do? We're going to say print. So we want to show you this graphically. Yeah. How does it look graphically? Yeah. Yes. Now we have our for loop here. Okay. So we have our while loop and then for loop here. So for I in range of how the number is, right? If your number is 5, it will go to up to. It will show you 5 or basically 0 to 4. Yeah. I want to print. You want to print a star. Yeah. So we want to print star. Okay, let's say 8. So basically, we had seen how we were outputting this. Sorry, insert for I in range, basically the range of numbers, going to output 8. Then we're going to, what is the next line? Once that's done, so we have asked if number, okay, whatever variable we have here, whatever it's less than 0, right? What if it's less than 0? We'll print you goodbye. I hope that makes sense. Let's test our output. So let's say Python 4. So let's enter into 5, right? It's going to show you just 5 8s. You enter 8, it will show you 8 8s. So you enter 5, it will show you 5 8s. To enter 1, just going to. So the for loop inside here, right? The for loop inside here works from what you're getting from the user input. So I hope this keeps the loop alive. So if you enter negative number, negative 2, I want to tell you goodbye. You've made this statement false. If this is false, it's not going to run this, right? So while this is true, it's going to the next. So each time this one runs, so basically it checks if a number is greater or equal to 0, then it shows you, it just prints that. I hope that makes sense for makes sense for our graphical extension. I hope we've had enough of the nested loops. Okay, there are many examples you can do. For example, let's see, I'm trying to find I'm trying to see if we can do another example. I hope we've covered enough of this. I see time is running as well, and I don't want to keep you in I don't want you to get bored doing this simple. So we've done 1, 2, 3, and 4 examples. So kindly go do more examples, do more practicals, get to see how nested loops work. And in case you have any question, just let me know in the comment section. I'll be glad to be of help to you, and we can do a discussion together. Let's meet in our next class. We'll see what we can be able to cover. Good people, thanks for your time. See you in the next one, guys. Bye.